I am your brother in Christ, and this is a thank you video for all you guys' support on Facebook, Minds, and Gab. Thank you guys so much for your support as we've been going through this and facing this hard time. I will if you're not aware of it, I'll let my wife give you a quick summary. That's about it. No, kidding. Go ahead.
So a slightly longer summary is got really sick over 2 months ago. Back in February, came down with a really bad upper respiratory flu or some kind of virus, and finally got over that. And after like 3 weeks of dealing with it nonstop, and then I got a cough, which was really weird because I didn't have that prior to that point of recovery. And then I dealt with that for another month, over a month. I'm still dealing with it. And so we were like, well, that's really weird. Why is that happening? And a couple weeks into the cough, I also started developing really bad shortness of breath. There's one day where like I literally had to just focus on breathing, and it was almost to the point where I really did need to be on some kind of ventilator or something. But I didn't want to go in because all this quarantine shutdown stuff, and I couldn't just go to the doctor or anything. But anyway, so I tried to do a virtual call with one of my doctors, and the physician that was on the phone said, yeah, it sounds like bronchitis. So I took bronchitis medications, and the 3 medications that I was taking helped a lot with the cough, but not with the shortness of breath. It made the shortness of breath worse. And then so a week after that was prescribed and it was done and everything, then I went into another virtual visit, at which point they said, look, you're going to have to go into the ER because we don't know what's wrong. This should be better by now.
And we didn't know if it was COVID-19. We didn't know what it was. Obviously, bronchitis medicine didn't work. She was still dealing with it. She's still obviously having a bit of issue with whatever it is right now. So we knew that she needed to go in. We were looking at taking her in. We did not want her to, on top of her issues already, get COVID-19 as well. So please continue.
So I went into the ER to be seen in person because they were kind of like, we can't do a virtual chest x-ray on you. So when I got there, they, asked me what was going on, went through all of that. They did the chest x-ray. They also did blood work and an EKG. They were trying to make sure that I didn't develop any blood clots in my lungs because of how long I've been coughing. And they did rule that out, but then again, they also ruled out pneumonia and bronchitis, which at that point I was just sitting there like, right? So after the ER, I took the medications that they prescribed, even though they were kind of just random, treat the symptoms, hopefully, maybe, possibly, it's a allergy thing, and I scheduled out appointments, which was a pain in the butt for some reason, even though the doctors really aren't even scheduling things in person or anything like that. But finally I got some virtual visits set up, and I thank God for my primary care doctor because he is a good, godly man and cares about his patients. And he made time in his schedule for me to get back to me as soon as possible. And so he called me shortly after, a couple days after the ER visit. And he listened to me on the phone for just a couple minutes and pulled up my lung x-ray, which the ER people had completely cleared and said was perfectly fine, and said, yeah, well, you've got bronchitis and walking pneumonia. And so it doesn't show up as well on the lung scan because walking pneumonia is more streaky and stuff, technical terms. But yeah, that's what's going on with you. You know, you probably got the bronchitis from whatever respiratory flu kind of thing you had, and then the pneumonia developed because of the bronchitis. And so, it's been very frustrating getting to this point of diagnosis, but I am very excited that we can proceed with proper treatment at this point because we know what's going on. And so he prescribed me more of the original bronchitis medications in higher doses to try to knock that out. And it seems to be helping to some extent, at least. Yeah, we are really grateful for everyone who's been praying and caring about this and trying to give us suggestions for things to ask. And we are going to follow up with the pulmonologist still next week. Hopefully at that point this will be much better, but we still need to make sure everything is getting better and go from there, see if there's any other steps we need to take, because this has been going on for so long that we need to make sure there's no permanent damage or anything like that. So
yeah, on top of that, as we are dealing with this, we got an email from your grandmother letting us know that she is dealing with very flu-like symptoms, but they've ruled out flu. The doctors ruled out flu, and now are looking at it being possibly COVID-19. So, luckily, my wife seems to not have it, but her grandmother may have it. They did do the test on her. Unfortunately, they then informed her that they'll get back to her in 10 days with the results. Which, if you know how COVID-19 seems to progress, definitely in elderly people, it kills within 2 weeks of being admitted quite often, if that's what's going to happen. So, unfortunately, if you wait 10 days, most of your patients will already be dead before you get the results back. So that's really making me wonder about those tests there to see if is it not possible to speed these things up. But we are praying for her. We are with her in spirit, since we cannot be with her physically. If you guys would please keep her in your prayers, as well as my wife, I would greatly appreciate that. Again, thank you guys so much for your support. It has meant the world to us.
yeah, it's been really nice reading all of you guys' comments and texts and calls and emails and everything that you guys have been showing your support through. So I appreciate it. And prayer really is the best thing that we can do for this situation, because obviously God is much more in control than any of us, and he is much more wise than any of the doctors, especially the ER doctors.
So just please keep us in prayer as she recovers and as her grandmother is going through this. I'll give you guys another update later when we know more information. Just keep you guys up to date on her struggles. So again, thank you guys so much for your support. And as we all go through this, God be with us.
They did some other stuff to try to see what was going on. They did an EKG to see if my heart was doing okay. Because they were concerned.
I'm giving up at this point.
They were concerned.
Oh no. Is that funny? Huh? Oh no. Oh no. Is that he eating a belly? No. He is being a real pain. He's just at the beginning of the video and he just disappears at this point. I'll make you disappear, boy. Right out of the video.